I woke up from unconsciousness and was horrified to discover that an animal was licking my face. Startled, I quickly turned my head to see what it was, only to find it was a small goat. When I removed my goggles, I was shocked to realize I was hanging on a cliff face with a bottomless precipice beneath my feet. I looked up in despair and saw that my parachute was caught on a dead tree that looked like it could break at any moment. In this critical situation, I had no choice but to try to save myself. I felt around the rock wall and discovered it wasn't solid rock but a layer of soft mineral deposits. That's when I came up with an idea. First, I pulled out my knife, then took off my shoe and inserted the blade through it, letting it pierce out from the toe. I then drew 2 more knives from my chest, and using both feet to push off forcefully, I drove the knives into the cliff wall using the momentum. This way, I began climbing upward slowly, using both hands and feet. If nothing went wrong, I could gradually make my way to the top. Unfortunately, the knife couldn't bear the weight and snapped in half. I slid down the cliff face and fell back to where I started. Worse still, all this commotion caused the dead tree above to start breaking. Just as I was about to plummet into the abyss along with my parachute, I burst with incredible potential in this life-or-death moment. I spun around, pushed off the cliff with my toes, and rapidly cut through the parachute cords with my knife. I managed to sever the parachute just as the dead tree fell, narrowly escaping disaster. Without the parachute to anchor me, I could only press against the cliff wall, unable to do anything. Once my strength ran out, I would fall off the cliff. Just when I was about to give up, the goat from earlier suddenly bleated, as if giving me a hint. When I looked up, I saw the goat had positioned its front and back legs on either side of a crevice in the cliff and easily climbed up the smooth, steep cliff face. I thought this method might work for me too, so I lunged sideways across the gap. Fortunately, the distance wasn't too far, and my height was just right to wedge myself horizontally in the crevice. Though it looked extremely dangerous, it was very effective. I began inching my way upward, following the crevice until I climbed onto a flat, snow-covered rock ledge. But just then, the snow-covered rock suddenly began to collapse, giving me no time to think of a solution. In this critical moment, my brain reacted quickly. I spun around and stepped on the goat's back, then jumped to the cliff edge like a monkey using all 4 limbs. I couldn't believe I was still alive. However, just as I was trying to climb up, a fierce ram suddenly appeared in front of me and charged straight at me, nearly knocking me off. I couldn't understand why the ram wanted to harm me. When the ram charged again, I decisively let go with both hands and grabbed its horns. Surprisingly, after I grabbed hold of the ram, it actually pulled me up onto the cliff. I couldn't believe that the ram had saved me. What do you think? Was the ram trying to save me or hurt me?